In this video, I'm going to outline 5 points why it is better to play chess when you are in a good mood. Number one is in your chess games, whether it's on chess.com or Chess or even over the board, you can often notice when you have winning streaks, when you have losing streaks. And sometimes when you go on a winning streak, it's because you've kind of just unblocked some new level of thinking. Maybe you just had a chess lesson, maybe you just watched a new video. And so that can be kind of due to an upgrade in your chess skill or your chess thinking process. But you can also very often notice sometimes you just have winning streaks when you just are kind of in a good mood. And on the contrary, like I said, you can also notice sometimes we go on losing streaks. We just cannot seem to win when we're in a bad mood. And there's all sorts of things that can come out of that, like chess tilt, like trying to get the rating back, rating anxiety, rematches when you probably shouldn't be rematching. Number one, like those winning streaks and losing streaks are often determined by your mental state. Um, I've seen crazy losing streaks. I myself have had awful, terrible losing streaks that can only be explained by the mental aspect. And I know that I just maybe lost one game. In fact, I can show you guys. Let me switch here. In my own rapid games on chess.com, I have a series on YouTube that's been the journey to 2000 elo. And I nearly reached 2000 over a year ago. And what happened was I was just playing a ton of rapid games every day. I wasn't necessarily focusing on quality over quantity, and that's something we're also going to look at. But long story short, at some point here, I got all the way up to 1993. You guys can see right here, highest rating 1993. And what happened when I got that last game? I could try to hunt down the game and find it, but I don't know if it's worth it. I got to, where is it here? 19, and yeah, okay. The graph doesn't show it very well, but basically what happened was I reached 1993 and I was one win away from reaching 2000 elo. So then all the pressure was kicking in. I really cared about, hitting that milestone, and I lost that game. And I don't remember how I lost it exactly, but what I can tell you is that right after that, I eventually took a break and stopped focusing on online chess, and my rating plummeted from like 1993 all the way down to eventually as low as I think like 1830, which people have done worse. It happens all the time. But I'm almost certain that the mental aspect really played a part in that. And I was just too focused on gaining rating points. I was not focused on improving and learning from each game. And then more importantly, I certainly was not in a good mood a lot of those times when I was playing. Now, like fast forward, just to give you guys a quick example, I am currently sitting at 1981, and I started up the challenge to try to reach 2000 elo. But basically, since I started up this challenge, like I'll just show you guys, in the last 90 days, and since I've started up this challenge again, it's been going pretty well, with 60% win rate, 25% loss, and 15% draw. And a big part of it is just my mental state. Like I really try to play chess in this sense because the rating does matter for this challenge when I'm in a good mood and when I feel prepared. So that's really, really important. I have not gone on a crazy losing streak in rapid games in quite a long time because of that reason. You're much less likely to go on some huge tilt or losing streak if you only play when you're in a good mood. Which brings us to number two. The second point here is playing when you are in a bad mood. It's better to avoid playing when you're in a bad mood because you're more inclined to go on chess tilt, rematching your opponent just over and over, trying to win and then losing more rating points. And then ultimately, the goal can really quickly become just winning at all costs because you're trying to search for like a dopamine hit. Really, it's what we're trying to do in that situation. We're just trying to get like a quick dopamine fix, just like you might want to smoke a cigarette or have a drink or something. And it's better to avoid that, especially if you care about your long-term and short-term progression, especially if you care about rating points. I think that you have to be careful about caring too much about your rating, but hey, it's normal. I think everyone to some extent does. And so it's better to just avoid playing when you are in a really bad mood, especially if you're going through something like emotionally, like, I don't know, it could be anything like a breakup, you had a bad day at work, anything. Take that time. My advice: take that time and dedicate it more to studying, because number one, you might also find that it almost always puts you in a better mood because you're doing something that is paying off in the long term. Avoid playing when you're in bad moods. Use that time to study, or do something that's going to help your chess in a way that isn't so stressful, such as playing a live game. Okay, and number three, when we are in a better mood, the results of the game, winning or losing, usually matters a bit less. It's going to impact you less if you lose a game when you're already in a pretty good mood. And it's easier to just sort of walk away. If you're already in that like crazy chest tilt and you're feeling angry, upset, or whatever, it is so much easier to try to immediately jump into another game. You probably didn't even analyze the game you just played, and you're just trying to win, get those rating points back. And so, yeah, you're less likely to get stuck in this pattern if you play when you're in a good mood, and then that way, whether you win or you lose, like I said, you win, great, you analyze the game anyways and try to see where you could have played better or if you had any mistakes. And if you lose, great, you take the opportunity. You know, games that are lost are even better to analyze because that shows you where your weak points are. A game where you won and played really, really well, that's good, but it's less useful in the sense of you can't see where your weak points are. We all have weak points. That's what getting better at chess means, just like anything. But in particular with chess, you have to be very, I think, self-aware and recognize your mistakes, why you're making them, and how to improve them. And so, yeah, when you play in a good mood, you're just more likely, I think, to do this. And that's seriously with my personal chess experience right now. That's what's happening is I only play like maximum 3 rapid games per day. And if I lose a game, usually I'll just call it for the day, try to study and learn from my mistakes, and then come back at it the next day. This is like nearly a foolproof method to stop going on losing streaks. Doesn't mean you're going to win every single game. Doesn't mean that you're going to lose. You know, it doesn't really mean anything, but you're very less likely to go on crazy losing streaks. And you might even go on some pretty nice winning streaks because you're focused more on the quality of your chess. Which brings us to our fourth point, which is play 1 to 3 games per day. Rapid games would be my recommendation. It's better to play 1 to 3 really good, well, when I say really good games where you really try your hardest, you give it your all to try to find the best moves, try to put to the test certain concepts that you might have just learned. Maybe it's a new opening. It's much better to play one really good game and then take the time to analyze that and learn from your mistakes than it is to play, in my opinion, 10 mindless games, like a blitz games or bullet games, especially if you're not even really analyzing them before, or if you're just going through quickly with like the game review and you're saying, oh yeah, that was a bad move. Oh, that was a good move. Oh, but I don't want to know why, or I don't really want to understand more like what's behind it. This is just not a good way to progress in general. And then fifth point here is just simply quality over quantity. For the reasons that I just laid out, basically, it is better, I think, to focus on quality. You are less likely to go into chess tilt episodes, chess rage, all that stuff, because, there's just a recognition of you are where you are. Like if you made the mistakes in this chess game that you've just played, then that's where you are. And you made those mistakes because that was the extent to which you were capable of calculating and whatever playing in that particular moment. And that's fine. And now the goal is, okay, well, how can we learn from this? And by doing that, I promise you guys, you'll notice a difference with your overall mood, your overall appreciation of playing the game. And then, yes, also you will win more games and your rating will probably start climbing higher and higher. And quantity, I think, is important. Like, hey, look, if you're willing to play, 4 or 5 hours of chess a day and play tons of games, and you are spending the time to try to analyze, learn from your mistakes, go for it. You're on track to have like a really amazing progression, I think. But focusing purely on quantity, I would not recommend. And again, I'll just give you guys an example from my own experience. I've been playing chess for like 5 to 6 years, maybe. And the first 2 or 3 years, like I basically exclusively just played tons of blitz. I can tell you I wasted years just spamming blitz games, and I did stay stagnant. for quite a while, like from 1300 to 1700 was a much longer gap than it was from 1700 to 2000, basically. I have talked to a lot of pretty strong players, a lot of masters, chess coaches, and nearly every single one of them. I don't think there's been a single person, other than like I think one time Amon Hamilton said that he's actually an advocate of playing like more quantity, like more 5-minute games, as many as you can. But other than that, like almost every single other person that I asked the question to said you should focus on longer time controls, classical OTB chess if you can. And if you can't, that's fine. Maybe 15-minute rapid games with increment or 30-minute rapid games. So yeah, that is all I have for you guys. And by the way, if you guys are interested in following the journey to 2000, I am going to finish it. It's just been kind of a complicated period. The goal is to try to reach it before March 1st, so you can stay tuned. I'll come out with a couple of videos. We'll see if I can win a couple more games and reach the 2000. If you guys are interested, as always, in buying an electronic chessboard, you can use my promo code down below to buy a Chestnut. The Chestnut Move just came out, and it's super cool. It has self-moving pieces. I'm really interested in it, like myself. So, yeah, if you guys do want to buy one of those, make sure to use my promo code. Helps me, helps you. It will give you the best discount you can get. And that is all I have for you. I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.